What's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story we're going to talk about today is the world's strongest man. So if you don't like spoilers, look away or skip this part of the video. But the world's strongest man was this weekend. Kind of interesting here. So I'm going to go over the results. That's why I said spoiler alert. I know some people want to watch it before they know the results. And that's kind of one of the things that I want to talk about in this video. Is I've seen a lot of comments about the world's strongest man and how people are very displeased that there's not a live stream, there's not a whole lot of promotion, and people have to wait basically half a year to actually watch it on TV. So Tom Stoltman won the 2024 World's Strongest Man. Mitchell Hooper ended up in second place. And Evan Singleton wound up in third. So, like I said, if you look at the comments just on this post here from World's Strongest Man, you can see a lot of people saying the same thing. The event needs to be more accessible. There needs to be a live stream. We only got the results by watching Eddie Hall's YouTube channel. And it goes on and on. I've seen a lot of these comments, and I really couldn't agree more. It seems like such an outdated model for the biggest event in a sport like strongman, being the World's Strongest Man competition, to not have a live stream to be able to view it. The only way to, if you wanted to watch this, you'd have to go in person and watch it. And even then, it's very tough to watch the whole thing because there's so many different heats, so many different events, a multiple day show. And I think, if anything, that's an even stronger argument to have a live stream for it, so people have it more accessible to watch at home. Not everybody can go, travel for a couple days to watch it. And I'll be honest, and even though I don't really follow strongman as closely as I follow bodybuilding, I didn't even realize the World's Strongest Man was going on this weekend until halfway through yesterday, where I started to see posts about it on Instagram. So I kind of agree with these comments that peripherally, people that are kind of peripherally interested in strongman and maybe don't follow it super close, I didn't feel like there was a lot of promotion of this World's Strongest Man being this weekend. And I think that I'm pretty sure the person that I saw post about it first was Flex Lewis, a bodybuilder, and that's how I heard about it. And before I made this video, I was going through Instagram trying to find clips and videos and watch as much of the show as I possibly could before I talked about it. And it is really, it does seem very primitive that to watch the World's Strongest Man, you've just got to look through a bunch of Instagram reels and try to piece the thing together to watch as much of it as you can. It is kind of, it seems outdated. Not to mention, I can't even put a clip in this video because World's Strongest Man is notorious for taking down people that use clips from the competition because of the fact that they have the TV deal that they do, where the show is broadcast, months after it actually happens. So I do agree with strongman fans. This seems to really be something that's plaguing, I think, the growth of the sport of strongman. The fact that it's not accessible, and the fact that you can't watch it live, the fact that you got this delayed broadcast of it, the fact that you can only see it if you go in person and you're able to stay for multiple days to watch the whole thing, the fact that they don't really freely allow the sharing of clips of the show impacts kind of the social media presence of it. Because I follow all this, I follow all these guys, I follow all this stuff, peripheral to strongman, bodybuilding, fitness stuff. And like I said, I only realized it was going on halfway through, towards the end of the day yesterday, because the promotion and the social media presence of it has been so small. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the 2024 World's Strongest Man. Again, Tom Stoltman is your 2024 World's Strongest Man champion. Now, next up in the news, a lot of the bodybuilding industry is talking about this guest posing from Wesley Vissers from this weekend. Wesley looks massive in this guest posing. Significantly bigger than he does on stage. Now, Wesley is already one of the biggest guys in classic physique. And I don't just mean one of the tallest guys, but it just so happens that in classic physique, the taller guys tend to be the biggest. And I think that's, case in point with Chris Bumstead. So his competition weight, the weight limit for Wesley when he competes in classic physique, he's 6'2". So the weight limit up to and including 6'2" is 242 pounds or 109.8 kilos. So in competition shape, which is clearly significantly smaller and less full than he is here, 242 pounds. To me, in this video, he looks 15 to 20 pounds bigger than that, but he's still shredded. I mean, look at the deep striations in his chest, in his shoulders, the vascularity. I mean, he's still ripped, but much bigger, much fuller, and it kind of makes you wonder, how much does classic physique limit Wesley's potential in improving some of the points of his physique? I got to admit, he's done a really good job of improving his lower body. That was something people criticized for a long time. I know a lot of people say he doesn't have the best taper with his waist. He's got kind of a wide waist. Obviously, not a gut or anything like that, but just his hip structure is kind of wide towards the bottom compared to a guy like Chris or a guy like Ramon. So when you see him here, and again, what I think is 15 to 20 pounds heavier, probably close to 260 pounds, if not more than that, and he still looks shredded. And he's in the offseason. He's already qualified for the Olympia. He won 2 back-to-back Arnold Classics. He doesn't have to compete again. He looks phenomenal here. And it begs the question, not only is the classic physique weight limit restricting Wesley, but also what we just talked about with Urs Kausinski, Wesley Vissers in open bodybuilding. Could it happen? Could he do even better in open bodybuilding than he did in classic physique? Because clearly for a long time, I felt like Wesley had a great classic physique. He was almost always ripped, really good shape, sometimes flatter, sometimes fuller, improved the lower body to where it needed to be. And it seemed like for a while the judges just didn't like his physique, and only just now is he really getting rewarded winning shows like the Arnold Classic. And I'll be honest with you guys, I have heard rumblings behind the scenes that there has been discussion about Wesley moving to open, especially after the Olympia this year. And I'm also gonna assume that depends on his placing at the Olympia. I think that also depends on whether or not Chris Bumstead retires after this Olympia, or even if Chris does this Olympia. I think he will. Personally, I think this will be Chris's last Olympia. I know there's been a lot of talk about his mental health. He had a really rough time with his last prep. He's thought about retirement, these kind of cryptic social media posts. But I feel like now that Chris, his daughter, is born, I feel like he wants to retire. I think he's kind of made that clear. But I think he wants to retire on the Olympia stage after a victory and then bring his daughter on stage. I really feel like this will be Chris's last year. So if you do have a scenario where Wesley Vissers takes second to Chris Bumstead and then Chris retires, I think Wesley would be a fool not to do the next year's Olympia then, because he's next in line for the title. And really, on paper, he's beaten everyone else that should beat him at the Olympia. So he is, on paper, the favorite for number 2. But I say all that to say, this is a really impressive look for Wesley, because I would bet you guys he's around 260 pounds in this video. So the point is, he's not a small guy. He is a big dude. And he's still ripped at a significantly bigger version of his physique than he was on stage, like in competitive stage. So I've got to be honest, when we talk about a lot of these guys in Classic potentially going to Open, I look at Wesley here and I really, truly see that possibility. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Now, speaking of Classic physique, we got an update from a guy that we haven't seen in a while, Logan Franklin, coming from his coach, Patrick Tour. Another one of the taller Classic physique guys that people make an argument for potentially being, one of the top guys at the Olympia. Especially now that we're kind of in this space when we kind of contemplate the exit of Chris Bumstead. And I got to be honest with you guys, I'm extremely excited to see what Logan's plans are for this year as far as getting to the Olympia qualifying. Because to be honest with you guys, Logan is one of my favorite Classic physique competitors, physique-wise. He's a really good poser. I really enjoy watching him compete because of the posing, but he's got a really good physique that goes well with that. And I think that Logan, even though he's not necessarily been a guy that's challenging the top 3 at the Classic Physique Olympia, he's one of my favorite guys. And we've seen a lot of guys lately that have taken time off, and that time off did their physiques very well. And I think we might see that with Logan. And honestly, in this video, he looks like he's getting ready to compete. It doesn't say what show he's doing here, but he looks like he's in relatively good condition. So maybe we'll be seeing him on stage sooner rather than later. Now, next up in the news, if you're looking forward to the upcoming Pittsburgh Pro, which is this coming weekend, the big guest posing where you're going to see Hunter Labrada, Samson Dauda, Big Ramy, Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker, and Andrew Jacked, they've now added 3 more guys, including Urs, who we already knew they added, but Muhammad Shaban, Urs Kalasinski, and Martin Fitzwater, who just won the Detroit Pro. Still unsure with Chris. Chris Bumstead will be there, but it's a special appearance. He's probably not going to actually participate in the guest posing. I am curious to see if Rami actually shows up. We haven't really seen much from Rami except for throwback pictures and videos, and this is something that he skipped in the past, so we'll see. So we will get a preview of both Martin and Nick just 1 week out from the New York Pro. And we're going to get to see them next to each other, presumably on the same stage. So if you're a big bodybuilding fan, you're not going to want to miss the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing Saturday, May 11th. And that's going to wrap it up for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Just kind of a quick one today. And as always, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment down below. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. Alright guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also check out my Instagram at NICKS&P, my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel, and consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.